Have you ever found yourself unable to stop thinking about someone? In today's video, we will explore this intriguing phenomenon through the lens of Carl Jung's theories. We'll delve into why certain individuals linger in our minds and what this might reveal about our own emotional landscapes. Understanding these thoughts is not just a passing curiosity. It can help us grasp our deeper feelings and connections with others. By the end of this video, you will gain valuable insights into the psychological reasons behind these persistent thoughts and how they relate to your personal experiences. You might be wondering, is there a reason I can't stop thinking about them? Or, what does this say about my relationships? Stick with us, and you'll uncover the answers you've been seeking, providing clarity and understanding that can enhance your emotional well-being. Subscribe to the channel now and uncover the mysteries of spirituality with Carl Jung. Let's dive in. Persistent thoughts about someone can often feel overwhelming, as if that person has taken up residence in our minds. Understanding this phenomenon can provide valuable insights into our emotions and desires. Carl Jung, a prominent psychologist, believed that our thoughts are reflections of our inner selves. When someone occupies our thoughts, it often signals unresolved feelings or unmet needs within us, leading us to question why they linger so insistently in our minds. Imagine a woman named Emma, who finds herself constantly thinking about a friend from her past, someone she hasn't spoken to in years. At first, Emma feels confused. Why is this person haunting her thoughts? As she begins to explore her feelings, she realizes that her fixation stems from unresolved emotions related to their friendship. The absence of closure leaves her feeling incomplete, as if a part of her life remains unwritten. This scenario is not uncommon. Many people experience similar situations where certain individuals evoke strong emotional responses, often pointing to deeper issues within ourselves. But what happens when these thoughts become too intense? They can create a whirlwind of emotions, often leading to frustration, anxiety, or even longing. Emma, for instance, starts to feel a sense of loss and regret, emotions that she must confront. By acknowledging these feelings, she embarks on a journey towards self-discovery. This journey is essential because it allows us to explore the underlying reasons for our persistent thoughts and feelings.
Within this exploration, we encounter the concept of archetypes introduced by Jung. Archetypes are universal symbols or themes that reflect our collective unconscious. When someone captures our attention, they may represent an archetype that resonates with something deep inside us. For Emma, her friend might symbolize the carefree spirit she yearns to embrace, but feels she has lost along the way.
This connection reveals a crucial aspect of her identity and highlights the gap between who she is and who she wants to be. As we delve deeper into our persistent thoughts, we often find ourselves projecting our own desires or insecurities onto others. Emma begins to see her friend not just as a person, but as a representation of the fun, spontaneous side of herself that she has suppressed. This projection can lead to an idealized image of the person in question, obscuring the reality of who they are. It's vital to recognize this tendency, as it can affect our self-esteem and hinder personal growth. Emma realizes that she is not merely missing her friend, she is longing for the parts of herself that she wishes to rediscover. Understanding this dynamic can lead to what we might call the mirror effect. When we fixate on someone, they often reflect our insecurities, desires, or aspirations. For Emma, the admiration she feels for her friend's adventurous spirit highlights her own fears of stepping out of her comfort zone. This realization becomes a turning point for her. Instead of remaining stuck in her thoughts, she decides to confront her fears and take action towards embracing a more adventurous lifestyle. As we navigate these persistent thoughts, we may discover that they serve as catalysts for personal transformation. Emma's journey illustrates how reflecting on our feelings can lead to significant insights and healing. By recognizing the impact of her unresolved emotions, she seeks closure with her friend, ultimately finding peace and empowering herself to pursue new adventures. The exploration of persistent thoughts is not just about the individuals who occupy our minds. It's a journey inward that can lead to profound personal growth. By understanding our emotional landscape, we can foster deeper connections with ourselves and others, paving the way for healthier relationships and a more fulfilling life. So the next time someone lingers in your thoughts, remember that it's an invitation to explore your own inner world and discover what lies beneath. Archetypes are powerful symbols that reside in our collective unconscious, influencing our thoughts and behaviors in ways we often don't recognize. Carl Jung, the psychologist who introduced this concept, proposed that these archetypes shape our identities and relationships. When we find ourselves fixating on someone, it can often be because that person embodies an archetype that resonates deeply with us. Whether it's the caregiver who nurtures, the rebel who challenges norms, or the lover who evokes passion, this connection can reveal profound insights not only about the person we can't stop thinking about, but also about ourselves. Imagine a young woman named Emma. She has been unable to shake thoughts of her charismatic colleague, Mark. Mark isn't just a figure in her workplace. He represents the archetype of the hero, confident, decisive, and full of life. Emma admires these qualities because they highlight a yearning within her for courage and assertiveness. But this admiration isn't just harmless. It can become an obsession, as Emma finds herself daydreaming about scenarios where she shows the same bravery as Mark. The more she thinks about him, the more she realizes that her fixation reveals her own insecurities. She wishes to embody the hero archetype, but feels trapped in her current life, lacking the confidence to pursue her dreams. This scenario demonstrates how archetypes serve as mirrors. They reflect the qualities we aspire to, as well as those we fear we lack. Emma's admiration for Mark leads her to question her self-worth. Why can't I be more like him? She wonders, spiraling into a cycle of self-doubt. But understanding that Mark represents a part of her own psyche could be the key to her growth. Instead of solely focusing on her fixation, she could choose to explore what the hero archetype means for her. What actions can she take to embody that courage in her own life? As Emma embarks on this journey of self-discovery, she begins to recognize the potential for transformation. She seeks out opportunities to take risks, whether in her career or personal life, and gradually finds herself stepping into the very qualities she admires in Mark. Instead of being paralyzed by her thoughts about him, she channels that energy into her own development. This is where the magic happens. By confronting the archetype that Mark represents, Emma begins to reshape her identity, moving from admiration to self-empowerment. But how do these archetypes influence our relationships with others? When we project our desires and fears onto someone else, we may unintentionally create an idealized version of them, one that exists more in our minds than in reality. This idealization can lead to disappointment when the person doesn't meet our expectations. Understanding the archetype at play can help us see the person more clearly, allowing for a more authentic connection. For instance, if Emma understands that her feelings for Mark stem from her admiration for the hero archetype, she can approach their interactions with more clarity, appreciating his qualities without losing sight of her journey. In conclusion, recognizing the archetypes that influence our thoughts and feelings can be a profound step towards self-understanding. By reflecting on the qualities we see in others, we can uncover our own desires and insecurities. This awareness can not only enhance our emotional well-being, but also lead to healthier relationships. So, the next time someone lingers in your mind, take a moment to explore the archetype they represent and what it reveals about you. This journey can be the catalyst for your personal transformation, turning fixation into empowerment. Emotional projections often play a significant role in our persistent thoughts about others, revealing deeper layers of our own psyche. When we find ourselves fixating on someone, it is frequently a reflection of our unfulfilled desires or qualities we admire, but believe we lack. This phenomenon, while common, can lead to an idealized perception of the person in question, obscuring the reality of who they are, and, more importantly, who we are. Imagine a young woman named Emily. For months, she can't shake the thought of her colleague Jake, who seems effortlessly confident and charismatic. At first glance, Jake appears to be the perfect embodiment of the traits Emily wishes she could possess. She dreams of his self-assuredness, his ability to command a room, and the way people gravitate toward him. However, as Emily continues to dwell on her thoughts of Jake, she starts to realize that her fixation stems not just from admiration, but also from a place of deep-seated insecurity. The idealization of Jake serves as a projection of Emily's own feelings of inadequacy. She sees in him the confidence she craves, yet this projection creates a distorted image of who he truly is. This is a common trap many fall into. We project our hopes, dreams, and regrets onto others, often failing to recognize that our thoughts are less about them and more about our own inner struggles. By understanding this, we open a door to self-reflection and growth. As Emily begins to unpack her feelings, she realizes that the admiration she holds for Jake is rooted in her desire to overcome her own self-doubt. This revelation doesn't diminish her feelings. Instead, it transforms them. She understands that the qualities she admires in Jake are not unattainable. They are, in fact, aspects of herself she can cultivate. This realization prompts Emily to embark on a journey of self-improvement, where she actively seeks opportunities to build her own confidence. Consider the impact of this journey. Initially, Emily felt stuck, overwhelmed by her thoughts of Jake. But as she acknowledges her projections, she begins to shift her focus inward. She starts practicing self-affirmation, engages in activities that challenge her, and gradually builds a support network. The transformation is palpable. Instead of being a passive observer of Jake's confidence, Emily begins to embody those qualities herself. So, what can we learn from Emily's story? The process of recognizing emotional projections not only helps us understand our fixation on others, but also serves as a catalyst for personal growth. When we see the reflection of our emotions in someone else, we can choose to either remain in admiration or take actionable steps towards self-discovery and improvement. To further illustrate this, consider the concept of a mirror. When you gaze into a mirror, the reflection you see is merely a surface image. It doesn't tell the whole story of who you are or what you can become. Similarly, our persistent thoughts about others offer only a partial view of our emotional landscape. By confronting these reflections, we can reveal hidden insecurities or desires that may have been lurking beneath the surface. In this journey, the key is to approach our thoughts with curiosity rather than judgment. Instead of dismissing our feelings as mere infatuation or obsession, we can ask ourselves why this person holds such power over our minds. What qualities do they possess that resonate with us? What unmet needs are we projecting onto them? As we navigate this complex web of emotions and projections, we may find ourselves empowered to take control of our narratives. By transforming our fixation into a journey of self-discovery, we can emerge not only with a clearer understanding of ourselves, but also with the tools to foster healthier relationships, both with ourselves and with others. The next time you find your thoughts consumed by someone, remember, it's not just about them. It's an invitation to explore the depths of your own heart and mind. When we find ourselves unable to stop thinking about someone, it often reveals deeper layers of our own psyche. This phenomenon, known as the mirror effect, serves as a powerful lens through which we can examine our own insecurities, desires, and emotional needs. The mirror effect suggests that the people we fixate on reflect parts of ourselves, whether that be our aspirations, fears, or unresolved conflicts. This concept holds transformative potential, as it allows us to glean insights about our inner world by observing our external relationships. Consider the story of a young woman named Emma. For months, Emma couldn't shake thoughts of her colleague Jake. He was charismatic, successful, and seemingly carefree. At first, Emma believed her fixation stemmed from her admiration for his achievements. However, as she began to reflect more deeply, she realized that Jake represented qualities she felt she lacked: confidence, assertiveness, and a sense of direction. Every time she thought of him, it was as if he held up a mirror, reflecting her own feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. As Emma navigated her thoughts, she discovered that her admiration for Jake was intertwined with feelings of envy and frustration. This realization was not easy. It stirred up a whirlwind of emotions. However, acknowledging these feelings was crucial for her growth. By confronting her insecurities, Emma embarked on a journey of self-discovery. She started to ask herself pivotal questions. Why did she feel inadequate? What steps could she take to cultivate her confidence? This introspection became a catalyst for change. The journey of confronting the mirror effect can be daunting. It requires vulnerability and the willingness to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves. However, it also opens the door to profound personal transformation. Instead of merely idealizing Jake, Emma began to recognize that her thoughts were not solely about him. They were about her own desires for growth and fulfillment. This shift in perspective allowed her to channel her energy into self-improvement rather than fixation. She enrolled in public speaking classes to build her confidence and sought mentorship to clarify her career goals. Emma's story illustrates the transformative power of understanding the mirror effect. When we confront the reflections that others provide, we can embark on a path toward healing and self-empowerment. It's about shifting our focus from external admiration to internal growth. The journey may evoke a mix of emotions, fear, excitement, and even resistance, but it ultimately leads to a stronger sense of self. As we reflect on our own persistent thoughts about others, we can ask ourselves what these figures represent in our lives. Are they highlighting our strengths, or are they magnifying our fears? Understanding this dynamic allows us to take actionable steps towards growth. By embracing the insights gained from the mirror effect, we can move from a place of fixation to one of empowerment. In conclusion, the mirror effect is not just a psychological concept. It is an invitation to explore our own identities and desires. The next time someone occupies your thoughts, take a moment to reflect on what they might be revealing about you. Embrace the journey of self-discovery, and remember that every reflection has the potential to guide us toward greater emotional well-being. By recognizing and confronting these reflections, we can transform our fixations into opportunities for growth and healing, leading to a richer, more fulfilling life. Persistent thoughts about someone can often lead us on a profound journey of self-discovery, revealing hidden aspects of our identities and emotions. Imagine a character named Sarah, who finds herself unable to shake thoughts of an old friend. At first, these thoughts seem innocuous, just fleeting memories of shared laughter and good times. But as she reflects, deeper feelings surface, including a sense of abandonment linked to her past. This realization becomes a pivotal moment in her life, sparking a desire for closure that ultimately strengthens her emotional resilience. As we delve into Sarah's journey, we uncover how persistent thoughts can act as a catalyst for transformation. For many, like Sarah, these thoughts serve as a reminder of unresolved issues. Perhaps it's a relationship that ended abruptly, or a friendship that faded away without explanation. In Sarah's case, recognizing her feelings of abandonment pushed her to confront her past. She learns that these persistent thoughts were not merely about her friend, but were intertwined with her own emotional needs. The journey of self-discovery often begins with a crucial question: what am I truly feeling? By taking a step back to analyze her emotions, Sarah discovers that her fixation is rooted in a longing for connection and validation. This process can be uncomfortable, as it requires us to face the parts of ourselves we might prefer to ignore. Yet this discomfort often leads to significant personal growth. To illustrate, let's consider a different scenario. Imagine someone who can't stop thinking about a colleague who exudes confidence. Initially, this admiration seems harmless, but as the individual reflects, they realize that it highlights their own insecurities. This realization can be a turning point. Instead of merely idolizing their colleague, they can use this insight to work on their self-esteem, perhaps by seeking opportunities for personal development or practicing self-affirmation. As Sarah navigates her emotional landscape, she learns valuable lessons about acceptance and healing. This journey isn't about erasing memories or shutting out thoughts. It's about understanding and integrating them into her life. By addressing her feelings of abandonment, she not only seeks closure, but also opens the door to healthier relationships in the future. What can we learn from Sarah's experience? The first step is to embrace the journey. When persistent thoughts arise, instead of pushing them away, we should lean into them with curiosity. Journaling can be a powerful tool in this process. Writing down our thoughts helps us articulate our emotions and recognize patterns that may have gone unnoticed. This practice not only clarifies our feelings, but also empowers us to take control of our emotional narratives. Furthermore, engaging in mindful meditation can provide the space needed to explore these thoughts without judgment. It allows us to observe our emotions as they come and go, creating a sense of detachment that can be profoundly liberating. In the end, Sarah's journey teaches us that persistent thoughts can illuminate parts of ourselves we have yet to understand. By embracing these thoughts as invitations to explore our inner worlds, we can embark on a transformative path. The process may not always be easy, but the rewards, greater self-awareness, emotional resilience, and healthier relationships are worth the effort. As we reflect on our own lives, we can ask ourselves, what are our persistent thoughts revealing about us? And how can we use this knowledge to grow? This exploration is not just about the people we think about. It's a journey into the depths of our own hearts and minds, where true transformation begins. Establishing healthy boundaries is essential for maintaining emotional well-being and personal growth. When we find ourselves fixated on someone, it's often a signal that we need to create a space that allows us to process our feelings without losing ourselves in the other person. This journey begins with understanding that boundaries are not about building walls, but rather about building a framework that respects both our emotions and those of others. Imagine a gardener tending to a beautiful garden. They must create borders to protect the delicate flowers, allowing them to flourish without interference. As we delve into the concept of boundaries, let's consider the story of Mia. Mia had a close friend, Lisa, who was always on her mind. At first, this connection felt comforting, but it soon became overwhelming. Mia found herself constantly checking her phone for messages from Lisa, replaying past conversations, and feeling anxious when Lisa didn't respond immediately. Eventually, Mia realized that her fixation was rooted in her own insecurities. She admired Lisa's social confidence, which only highlighted Mia's feelings of inadequacy. It was clear that Mia needed to establish boundaries to reclaim her emotional space. To begin this process, it's crucial to identify what boundaries mean to you. Personal boundaries are about understanding your limits regarding emotional availability, time, and energy. For instance, Mia recognized that she needed to set aside specific times to communicate with Lisa rather than allowing her thoughts to drift to Lisa at all hours. By designating communication windows, Mia created a structure that helped her manage her feelings without completely shutting Lisa out. Communicating boundaries can feel daunting, but it's a skill that can be developed. An effective way to approach this is through honesty and clarity. Mia decided to have an open conversation with Lisa. She explained how she felt overwhelmed and needed to take a step back to focus on herself. This wasn't easy, but Mia's vulnerability strengthened their friendship. Lisa appreciated Mia's honesty, and it allowed them both to navigate their relationship with a deeper understanding. In practice, setting boundaries can include simple steps like saying no to plans when you need time alone, or limiting the amount of emotional labor you invest in others. It can be as straightforward as deciding to spend a few hours each week dedicated solely to self-care, free from distractions. By prioritizing your own needs, you create a balance that fosters healthier relationships. Another critical aspect of establishing boundaries is self-reflection. After setting your boundaries, take time to check in with yourself. How do you feel? Are your needs being met? This introspection helps reinforce your commitment to your emotional health. For Mia, the act of journaling became a powerful tool. Writing about her feelings allowed her to process her thoughts about Lisa without becoming consumed by them. As we explore the benefits of healthy boundaries, it's essential to recognize the transformation that occurs. Initially, Mia felt anxious and overwhelmed, but by applying these strategies, she began to feel empowered and in control of her emotional landscape. The difference was striking. Instead of feeling like she was constantly chasing after Lisa's approval, Mia found peace in her own company. She discovered that her worth wasn't defined by her connection to others, but rather by her ability to stand firm in her identity. By establishing healthy boundaries, we not only improve our mental well-being, but also enhance our relationships. Boundaries allow us to engage with others from a place of strength rather than dependency. So, the next time you find yourself fixating on someone, remember Mia's story. Reflect on your own emotional needs and take steps to create the space necessary for healthy connections. This journey towards establishing boundaries can lead to profound personal transformation, empowering you to embrace your individuality while nurturing your relationships. To gain clarity and reduce obsessive thoughts, implementing practical steps can be transformative. One of the most effective methods is journaling, a practice that allows us to spill our thoughts onto paper, creating a safe space to explore our emotions. Imagine sitting in a quiet corner with a notebook, the pen gliding across the page as your inner voice starts to emerge. This simple act can lead to profound insights. For instance, consider a young man named Alex, who found himself fixated on a former friend. Through journaling, he discovered underlying feelings of rejection and loneliness, which he had not fully acknowledged. This revelation became a pivotal moment in his journey toward healing. Mindful meditation is another powerful tool that can help us process our emotions. Picture this. You sit comfortably in a serene environment, focusing on your breath. As you inhale and exhale, you allow thoughts to come and go without judgment. This practice encourages self-awareness and helps you distinguish between your thoughts and your true self. For example, a woman named Emily practiced mindfulness daily, which enabled her to recognize that her fixation on a coworker stemmed from her own insecurities about her career. By acknowledging this, she could shift her focus outward and pursue her professional goals with renewed confidence. When we engage in these practices, a transformation begins to unfold. Initially, it may feel overwhelming to confront these persistent thoughts. However, as we write down our feelings or meditate, we create space for clarity and understanding. This journey can be likened to peeling away layers of an onion. With each layer removed, we reveal deeper truths about ourselves. By taking these small but impactful steps, we shift from a state of confusion to one of empowerment. So what can you do today to start this process? Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day for journaling. Write freely about your thoughts and feelings without worrying about grammar or structure. Allow yourself to explore the connections between your emotions and the people who occupy your mind. You might be surprised at what you uncover. For instance, if you find yourself consistently thinking about a friend who seems confident, consider what that confidence means to you. Reflect on your own qualities and how they relate to the admiration you feel. In addition to journaling, incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine can be incredibly beneficial. Start with just 5 minutes of meditation, focusing on your breath. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them, but gently guide your focus back to your breath. This practice cultivates patience and self-compassion, empowering you to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in them. As we embrace these techniques, we also pave the way for healthier connections with ourselves and others. It's essential to understand that these persistent thoughts are not merely distractions. They are invitations to explore our innermost selves. They can lead us to identify unfulfilled desires, unresolved issues, or aspects of our lives that require attention. As we draw this section to a close, reflect on Alex and Emily's journeys. Their initial struggles with obsessive thoughts transformed into pathways of self-discovery and emotional growth. By implementing journaling and mindfulness, they not only gained clarity, but also uncovered deeper layers of their identities. The next time you find your mind wandering toward someone, remember that it's an opportunity for introspection. Embrace the process and allow it to guide you toward greater self-awareness and emotional well-being. As you embark on this journey, know that each step you take is a step toward understanding and healing. Persistent thoughts about someone can serve as a powerful gateway to understanding ourselves better. When we delve into our emotions and examine our connections with others, we often uncover deep-seated patterns that shape our identities and influence our relationships. Imagine a character named Sarah, who has been unable to shake thoughts of her old friend. Initially, she feels confused and burdened by this fixation. But as she reflects on it, a significant revelation comes to light. She realizes that her thoughts are intertwined with feelings of abandonment from her past. This moment of clarity doesn't just help Sarah understand her feelings. It empowers her to seek closure and heal. As we reflect on our persistent thoughts, we must recognize that they are not merely distractions, but opportunities for self-discovery. When we find ourselves ruminating about someone, it's often a signal that there are unresolved issues within us. Perhaps we admire a trait in them that we wish to embody in our own lives, or maybe they represent something we fear or desire. This is the essence of emotional projections, where our thoughts about others reflect our internal struggles. By acknowledging this, we can begin to map our emotional landscape and identify areas that need attention and growth. The journey of self-discovery can be both enlightening and challenging. Just as Sarah confronts her feelings of abandonment, we too must face our own emotional truths. This process often requires us to sit with discomfort and explore our vulnerabilities. When we embrace this journey, we start to notice the patterns that govern our thoughts and behaviors. For example, If someone consistently occupies your mind because they exude confidence, it might be worth reflecting on your own feelings of self-doubt. This realization can be the catalyst for transformation, guiding you to build your own confidence and self-worth. Establishing healthy boundaries is another crucial step in this journey. Understanding the reasons behind our fixations allows us to create emotional space that respects both our feelings and those of the person we're preoccupied with. This doesn't mean shutting them out. Rather, it invites us to communicate our needs and feelings effectively. Imagine having an open conversation with that person, sharing how their presence has impacted you, and discussing the emotional distance you need to foster personal growth. This approach not only helps in managing your thoughts, but also strengthens the relationship through honesty and respect. To support this process, practical steps can aid in gaining clarity and reducing obsessive thoughts. Techniques such as journaling and mindful meditation are invaluable tools in this regard. By writing down your feelings, you might discover recurring themes that illuminate your emotional patterns, much like putting together pieces of a puzzle. Mindful meditation allows you to observe your thoughts without judgment, providing a space to process emotions and gain insights. As we wrap up this exploration, it's essential to reflect on the insights gained about our thoughts and connections. Persistent thoughts can lead us to profound self-understanding if we are willing to engage with them. By recognizing patterns, embracing our emotional journeys, and practicing healthy boundaries, we can transform our emotional well-being. The next time someone lingers in your mind, remember that it's not just about them. It's about you, your growth, and the potential for healing. Embrace this journey with an open heart, and you may find that the path to understanding yourself is filled with opportunities for growth, strength, and resilience.